Welcome to UMass Women's Hockey right here on 91.1 WMUA Sports, our YouTube page here in Amherst. I'm Ruggiero alongside Cam Neary. My good friend Jacob Repper on the camera here shooting a shot of Bill Wright, the head coach for the UMass Women's Hockey team. And Cam, real quick, these two teams, they played yesterday. UMass won 2-1. They broke a 4-game losing streak. What are you expecting from the Minutewomen tonight?
Well, this is a matchup of two teams that are really looking to prove something. UMass snapped their losing streak last night. They were a 4-game losing streak. They get a great victory over the Golden Gophers last night. 2-1, gritty win to snap their losing streak. On the other hand, the Gophers facing a losing streak of their own. Theirs at 7. So Gophers looking to snap their streak, and Minutewomen looking to prove something. They're 3-4-2 right now, so a win would put them at 4-4 and help them out in the rankings a little bit. They dropped last week, so hopefully staying within the top positioning here, maybe move up from 13th. But we're going to get right into the action here. Gophers win the draw, go for a D-to-D pass, but it's broken up by a Minutewoman.
Yeah, here we go, Cam. Sorry.
Hey,
Some
no
audio issues to start off here. I'm not sure if our crowd mic is working, but we're underway here in Amherst. UMass with first possession. Mentioned their win yesterday in that game, 2-1 over the Golden Gophers. And Minnesota, they haven't been the best this season. Only 2-7. Their record on the year. But it was a fierce game yesterday, a nice close matchup between these two teams. UMass trying to fork it out. And it comes to the Minnesota blue line. Mackenzie Scanlon will bank it off boards and in. Abby Dunn's there. 1 assist on the year for Dunn. She'll pass it ahead to Ivory Arguin, the Amherst native. She'll bank it up the boards. Back there is Kelsey Partridge. Goes to the far side. And Minnesota will break out here.
Both teams yet to gain offensive control.
Well, here's a chance for Kelsey Partridge. Tries to make a move middle, but a great defensive play by Oler King. But it comes back to Partridge for a shot. Save their rebound, also stopped. That's Timberland.
That's a goal.
Mazikis. Oh, it is? Oh, they scored. Wow, that was something there. It looked like there was not much of a celebration or what, but my eyes deceived me. Kelsey Partridge, she scores her second of the year.
Yeah, bit of confusion there. The players looked around, but once the ref gave his decision, that was Kelsey Partridge. Great goal there. Starts off early.
I'm not sure how that one went in. We'll have to run it back on replay if we can, but shot past the side of the net goes wide. And UMass leads 1-0 early in this one. Shot from the point, wide of the net by Lila Roach. They dig for it there, but it's covered up. Was going to mention Timberland Mazikis. She lets in a goal and only 3 shots here.
Yeah, Mazikis gets the start tonight. She's got the second best save percentage on the team. Golden Gophers run 3 goalies here, so Mazikis gets the start tonight. Last night it was Lucy Nelson, but Mazikis looking to come back from that one. Don't want to give one up early like that, but tough shot.
Minnesota comes away with it here, trying to set it up, but first to it there will be Hope Viskovitz. But UMass gives it away in front of their goaltender, Sophie Shipton, who is getting the start tonight. Matthews started last night, of course, in the win for the Minutewomen. Joanna Zhu, she'll break in on the left. Bit of a 3-on-2 for UMass. She's trying to fork it through Celia Mitchell. That's not going to work. Minnesota will take possession here. Sierra Moore skates it on the left. 1 assist for her on the year. Passes it back. Attempted shot there by Rolf. Sticked aside by a Minutewomen stick in front. Here comes Shea McDonald up ice. Had an assist on the Carrie Balerna goal in yesterday's game. Pops to the right side. And sent out front there, covered by Mazikis.
You brought up the Carrie Balerna goal last night. She opened up the scoring last night, first goal of the game, and it was also named the UMass Dining Player of the Game. So coming off a hot one last night for Balerna.
Here's Minnesota breaking out. Skate in on the left. Send it around, looking out front there. Minnesota still with no shots on goal. Just over 3 minutes in here at the Mini Mullins Center. UMass already 1-0. But here comes Balerna up ice. Shot, save, rebound. Also stop for a moment, then they score. Brooke Borges. That's her first in a Minute Women jersey. 2-0 UMass.
Well, the Minute Women are striking early in this early bird special, 11 a.m. game, and it seems as though they're just as ready as if this was a night game. The Gophers still asleep out there, and UMass takes the lead 2-0. Might I add, too, 2 goals so far, both off of the rebound. Minute Women are controlling the front of the net and making sure they hop on those rebounds, and it's paid dividends so far.
Yeah, Minnesota just backs against the wall here. UMass will come up with the puck again and try and go ahead right away again with Shea McDonald. But the goals so far for UMass, at least the most recent one, goes to Brooke Borges, 2-0 Minute Women. Shea McDonald's shot flutters up high. Minnesota can't get it out, kept in by Abby Dunn. She'll try and kick it up the far wall. Can't get it past Samantha Beck. She'll clear it in and go for a change. We talked to Samantha Beck's family members before the game. They come up from Queens, New York. Say hi to everyone watching at home. Heard the link was shared around. Appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah, appreciate our fans all the way out in Minnesota. That's about as far out as they get.
Yeah, Minnesota, New York, wherever you might be. But here's Minnesota up ice, potential 2-on-1. The shot there goes wide by Kylie Wurzos. Wurzos 1 goal and 3 assists on the year for her, 4 points. But the leading scorers for this Minnesota offense are Liliana Rolfe and Laramie Prell, both with 7 points on the season. They're going to have to step up if Minnesota wants to get back into this one.
And I took a look at both Rolfe and Prell's profile as well. And when you look at it, they both have 7 points, but Rolfe with 1 goal, 6 assists. On the other hand, 5 goals, 2 assists.
Here's Rolfe. Her shot goes high and wide. Shipton still has not seen a shot yet. But right on cue there, Cam Rolfe getting into the action. Sent out front for a shot. Blocked by Maya Shapiro. Great block there. Katie Hill preventing Arguin from getting a clean exit. But it's still in the zone here for the Golden Gophers. Shot there goes off the side of the net. And it's slung up top for Mitchell. Sends it out front, shot, save, rebound. Just sent wide. Great save by Shipton, her first. UMass clears it. Partridge whistled for the offsides as she could not keep that puck in the neutral zone.
And great control by the defenseman over there in the UMass crease, controlling both nets so far. On offense, they're scoring rebounds, and on defense, they're getting rid of those rebounds, clearing the front of the net. That's exactly what you need to do as a defenseman if you want to make sure that you stay in the lead.
Julia Williams trying to fork it ahead. A turnover here behind Mazikis. Nearly. UMass digging for it still. In behind Joanna Zhu. Skates to the left corner. Zhu drops it up top for Evans. Her shot gets through for a save by Mazikis.
Yeah, Mazikis wanted no part in the rebound on that one. She's already let in 2 off the rebound, so swallows that one up.
She's already faced 8 shots.
Yeah, shots 8-1 right now. Golden Gophers haven't really tested Shipton yet.
Score 2-0 Minute Women. Just over 6 minutes in here. And we've talked about how Minnesota has struggled. They've lost at least 6 in a row, dating back to the early days of October.
Yeah, I think they won their first 2 games, and then since then it's been downhill for the Gophers, but looking to right that track tonight.
Here they come into the UMass zone, but can't set up here. Riley Evans takes it over. Sends it ahead for Julia Williams. Look at the speed from Williams. Her shot, stick to side by Mazikis. Clearing attempt kept in by Viskovitz for the moment, but Minnesota muscles it over the line. Julia Williams sends it ahead and goes for a change as Minnesota enters on the left. Great defense from Riley Evans. Up ahead for Partridge. She scored the first. Looking for another save by Mazikis. Rebound guided away by the defense, but right out front again. And that time it was Hallberg who had to get it out of dodge. UMass still with the pressure. Shapiro. Her shot sticked away by Mazikis. Rebound to the end boards. A quick out for Minnesota here. Kate Hill can't dump it in. Right back the other way for the Minutemen. Partridge drops it off for Shapiro. Her shot saved by Mazikis. Here come the Golden Gophers again. Shot blocked by Dunn. Brooke Jarman on that chance. Minnesota still with only the one shot. Not much going for them early in this first period. Sent in for the Minutewomen. Shane McDonald banks it off inboards. Goes to the far side for Brooke Borges. Scored the second UMass goal. It comes to the stick of the Golden Gophers for now. UMass has seen plenty of scoring from their new additions, especially within the last 2 years. Of course, Partridge, new to the team this year, already has 2 goals and 1 assist. Shelby Little, she's nowhere near new to this team. Her shot goes wide. She wears the C on her chest for a reason. She's been big for UMass. Great presence on the back end. Minnesota dumps and changes, no icing. Little ahead for Balerna, and now McDonald banks it to the right corner. Hannah Gromko on the ice. She scored the game winner in yesterday's game. 2-1 victory for UMass. Already had 2-0 here. Here comes Minnesota into the zone. Rolfe, shot, saved by Shipton, and a whistle.
Well, 2 shots, 2 saves for Shipton so far. Have to imagine she's getting the start today after the great performance by Sarah Matthews, the captain, yesterday. And Shipton did great in UMass's scrimmage against Framingham State, so proving herself to this team even as a freshman.
Matthews, of course, the senior, going to see most of the time, but Bill Wright will put in another goalie when he's given the chance. There's a shot saved by Shipton. Scramble in front. It slides to the near side, and it's covered there. Shipton standing tall.
Yeah, he seemed to be a little bit of confusion there, but Shipton stayed calm, cool, collected, made sure to cover that puck, and I think she was the only one on the ice who knew where it was at a certain point, but as long as the goalie knows where it is.
She saved all 4 of the shots she's faced so far in this first period. They send it ahead. Arguin and Gromko dashing after, but Mazikis comes way out of her crease to cover that one up.
That was a high-effort play by Mazikis, not afraid to get out of her crease, and that's a scary sight when you got 2 forwards coming at you at full speed, but Mazikis stands up to the challenge there.
It was a good job by Gromko and Arguin not to crash into Mazikis as well. That would not have been pretty. A good play by the Minnesota goaltender who has been tested early. Joanna Zhu backhands it to the far corner. Williams can't grab it. It's grabbed by Hallberg, and Minnesota having a time getting the breakout here. Now they were able to. Altman dumps it in. It goes around the boards to the far side. Joanna Zhu turns it over there for the moment. But no harm, no foul for UMass. Comes ahead for Julia Williams. The junior forward tries to find Zhu. She has to come back for it. And can't hold possession. It's going to be offsides on Minnesota here. With 9:28 to go in the first. Still 2-0 UMass. And you got to think Bill Wright is liking what he's seeing, Kim.
Definitely. Minutewomen with a lot of control over the game, but once they enter the offensive zone, a lot of unnecessary turnovers. Their breakouts and zone entry have been impressive, but once they're in the offensive zone, they seem to just turn it over to the Gophers.
Trying to set up here again with Hope Viskovitz. Unable. It comes all the way back to Riley Evans. Sent in to the right of the zone. Lily Sparrow digging for it there. First line out there for UMass. Sparrow, Shapiro, and Partridge. Here comes Minnesota. Oler King shot, saved by Shipton. Great rebound control there to almost clear it herself off the pad. But Partridge does the rest of the work, sending it to the neutral zone. Up ahead for Sparrow, tries the stealth pass off the boards, waiting for some help. She gets knocked down. No call coming. UMass can't keep it in. Well, Minnesota had potential 2-on-2 up ice there, but at the end of their shift, they had to clear it ahead. And now it's Eva Krausen, and a shot there by McDonald, saved by Mazikis. And a whistle.
Great spatial awareness now there to drop past to Krausen. Gives it a great shot, but a little up high, controlled by Mazikis. UMass really need to look for these rebound goals. It's worked so well so far.
Goes to the far side. Under 8 minutes to go in the first. And the Minutewomen bank it deep. There is Oler King. A relentless UMass forecheck here. And they create the turnover. McDonald. Another keep in there. Donald was trying to find Ava Krausen, the extra forward in today's game. Eventually, Minnesota clears it. Now it's Krausen entering. She gets taken down as she tried to shoot it. Went well wide. Gromko dashing after it in the far corner. McDonald and Gromko there digging for it. 2-on-2, the board battle. Donald kicks it loose. Minnesota here just surviving in this first period. Shots 13-5 in favor of UMass, but here's a chance for the Golden Gophers. Attempted shot by Prell did not get through. Far side, Ivory Arguin. She can't come up with it, and Minnesota clears it. Things have calmed down late in this first period. Well, not for long. UMass gives it away, and good defense by Shelby Little as it was Wurzos trying to cut middle. UMass can't get it out. Kept in there for a shot that went wide. Kate Hill off the rush.
A lot of turnovers on the UMass side of the puck here. They need to make sure they gain control and keep it.
Well, another turnover here. Cam shot blockered away by Shipton. Just got a piece of that, barely. Minnesota backhanded out front. And trying to set up here. And unable. Good couple of chances there, but no sustained zone time for the Golden Gophers. Here's Zoo. Her shot slides wide. Shelby Little off her line up the near side. Julia Williams now. Pass out front, goes through Zoo and goes all the way down.
Yeah, communication has been the story today. Tough passes, you can't be giving them up. I know that we took the lead early, but at this point, UMass has not been on the same page since that second goal.
All the way back for Little. UMass was only able to score 2 in the entire game yesterday. I'd like to think at this point they're going to want a lot more than that this early Saturday morning in Amherst. Ruggiero alongside Cam Neary. Cameraman Jacob Repper in a 2-0 game Roach risks it ahead for Williams. This fourth line still out there for UMass. Now Williams will head to the bench alongside Zoo and Karlstein. The pass out front for a shot that went wide. Hollenbach on that chance. Minnesota gives it away to Partridge. Here she comes with some speed up the right side. All the way around, out front, looking for the pass. Just goes by Lily Sparrow. Puck is still in the Minnesota zone here. We're going to get, I believe, a penalty here on Minnesota for roughing. UMass with a chance to extend their lead to 3.
Well, one of the little fundamental pieces of the game that UMass can look at is their changes, working in transition. The line changes have not been great so far. On that play, you had the fourth line out there for a hero shift out there for too long, and by the time that they got off the ice, Gophers were already headed the other way. That's not the time you want to take a line change. They were lucky to get out of their own defensive zone and even let up a shot there at one point.
UMass on the power play here, 4 minutes to go in the first. Evans shot, tip, save Mazikas, rebounds available, they whack at it, and it's eventually covered there.
Yeah, Mazikas learns her mistake there. She covered up right away. A lot of rebounding going on, but like Mazikas getting in the way of that two-man rush there. She's not afraid to get in the play now to break it up.
The rebounds have been the story for her. That created both UMass goals. Little one-time shot, blocked. Able to keep it in, though. It goes to Pearson. Makes a move in the left corner. Cuts middle. Shot. Save Mazikas.
Mazikas has had great control of the shots up high so far. She knows how to get in front of them, and she's really been collecting those high shots. That was a great shot, though. UMass still needs to try to work it around a little more. You're on the power play, a little bit more of an opportunity to stretch the ice out and find those defensive loopholes. So got an opportunity right here.
They win the draw. Back to Evans. Her shot almost got through. Was blocked in front. Comes back to Evans. She tries to go wide with it, but it's knocked down and cleared by Wurzos. Great play there. .112 remaining on the roughing penalty to Hallie Hollenbach. UMass will try and come ahead with it here. This first power play unit still on the ice, at least the defensive part of it. Here's Evans. Trying to get around the referee. They're unable to turn the corner. It comes all the way back.
Gophers using their speed, their first penalty kill line there. We're killing the Minute Women all on top of them. And here's another one right here.
Yeah, it was all UMass to start this power play, but now unable to break into the Minnesota's zone. Once again, a wayward pass has to come back to the stick of Maya Shapiro. She's able to turn the corner and enter through the middle of the zone. She's knocked down. No call coming there. And now Minnesota back the other way. Nice move out front. Backhand save by Shipton. Barely caught her glove there. I was heading right for the right top corner.
Yeah, UMass, I feel like they're laying off the gas a little bit, maybe because of the lead or the power play, but swiping at the puck. Need to add a little bit of a physicality factor here.
Penalty's over, but here's Zoo. She'll shoot it wide. Good kill by the Golden Gophers. UMass 0 for 1 on the power play now. But here's a chance out front. Backhanded wide by Borges. Donald's there. Back for Zoo. Tries the wraparound. Mazikas made a stop. Another try. Flutters over the net. Minnesota holds possession with 1:35 to go in the first. Here come the Minute Women. Shea McDonald. Nice move by Borges. She'll break in 2-on-1 for UMass. Borges shot. Just made it through everything wide. Looking for her second goal of the game. Minnesota's unable to get it out there, but eventually clear it down. They will go for a change. 50 seconds to go in the first. Arguin takes it over, backhand save Mazikis. Dangerous moment there for the Golden Gophers out front. Now UMass will come ahead again, just ahead of Gromko goes the puck on the ice there, and it'll come back the other way for the Gophers. Ward tried to feed Altman just behind her stick, sent out front. Gromko backhands it away. Pearson slings it ahead to Little. She'll dash in on the left. Shot there, save Mazikis. And a whistle with exactly 10 seconds to go.
UMass with one last opportunity, 10 seconds here. Can't imagine that they were thinking anything other than a shot here. Got to get a shot right off the face-off, off the rush. This is last opportunity, last gasp of the first period.
Nice shot of a dog there here at the Mini Mullins Center. As we play on, 3 seconds left. UMass sends it in, but that will be the end of the first period, and a good one at that for UMass. Not exactly perfect, but they'll take it. 2-0 Minutemen after 20 minutes. They lead in shots 18-7. Cam, any analysis after the first?
Yeah, I mean, 2 goals early, that's exactly what you want. Get on them early. Take advantage of the fact that this is an early game, and UMass has the home field advantage here. And I think that if you're going in the locker room, you're just preaching fundamentals, right? Make sure you're winning puck battles, communicating with each other, working, firing on all cylinders like a great hockey team should, and make sure you get your foot back on the gas like where it was in the first 4 minutes of this game. And UMass on top so far.
2-0 after 20. They'll head to the locker room, and we'll head to break for the next 13 minutes or so. But after that, we'll be back for the second period on 91.1 WMUA. Welcome back to UMass Women's Hockey on 91.1 WMUA. UMass leads 2-0 heading into the second period of play. It was all Minutewomen in that first period. They lead in shots 18-7, but not exactly the best from UMass either. Lots of turnovers, but what can Minnesota do better heading into the second period, you think?
Well, Minnesota's playing the best that they can. They were firing on all cylinders. Their communication has been great, even a D-to-D pass right off the bat there. And as long as they can keep their passing efficient, they're going to find defensive weaknesses, and that's how you win these games, right? Gophers have already changed their mentality from the beginning of the game. Going into this game, they were just trying to prove something. Now they're at a deficit. You got to work your way out of that hole. So Minnesota, with their back against the wall, I think they get a little scary here, and UMass can't let their foot off the gas.
They get an offensive zone draw here after the puck popped out of play early in the second period. John Ruggiero alongside Cam Neary. I believe we figured out the audio issues. Just want to apologize for that. The crowd mic wasn't working, and Cam's mic here wasn't working either.
I was a little quiet on that. Sorry about that.
I think we fixed that. But we play on here in Amherst. Gromko sends it across to Arguin. She'll break in on the right. Ivory Arguin, her shot, saved by Mazikis. Rebound slashed out front. They whack at it. And it comes to stick of Arguin. Her turnaround shot is blocked in front and cleared by Celia Mitchell. Right back in for Arguin, but she is offsides, I believe.
Yeah, well, aside from that offside call, that's about as good as a first shift as you can ask for from the Minutewomen. They had some great communication out there, some tic-tac-toe outlet passes, entering the offensive zone, getting some rebound shots. That's how you really get on them, strike fast and strike early.
They got a perfect start to the first period, 2 quick goals. Trying to get the same start to the second. Partridge, she scored the first 2. She'll dig for it there in the far corner. So will Maya Shapiro. It pops out front. No shot was made. Minnesota clears the line. Laramie Prell was trying to go ahead with it, but little hindered her progress, and it comes all the way back for Inga Olderking. Minnesota will regroup.
Back and forth shift. No team really able to gain offensive control yet, but Gophers enter the zone and give it right away to the Minutewomen.
Yeah, at the end of their shift there, just had to go for the change, but so far, 2 minutes into this first, hold the Minnesota trying to break in there, but they're going to come back the other way. That was...
I think she forgot what period it was.
I think she thought that the net was that way. Am I mistaken there? I don't want to jump to conclusions, but Autumn Elling was going the wrong way there for a minute.
I hate to make that accusation, but after she did that, she did look up to the sky in a sort of, oh.
Well, she had what seemed to be a pretty clean break into the UMass zone and then just took it back over the line, went the other way. But here's a chance for UMass out front. And it would have been a good chance to shoot by Karlstein, but she sends it across. No one was home there to shoot it. Pops in the left corner. Zoo and Karlstein dig for it there. Will come loose to the stick of Julia Williams. She tries to backhand it middle, but it's deflected out. They race for it towards Sophie Shipton. Iskovitz takes control, slings it ahead. Here comes Williams. She'll break in on the left alongside Sparrow. Tries to saucer it out front. Sparrow's whack at it. Deflects onto Mazikis for a whistle.
UMass having a little trouble with the puck battles on the walls here. They don't seem to come out on top very often. So to get yourself out of that situation, I think UMass should try to stretch the ice out a little bit, break the game up, and try not to have 2 forwards come in on the same side. They can't win these one-on-one puck battles so far.
Kim, we mentioned the early start, and that's something I think that kind of had snake bitten Minnesota, at least early in the first period. They're holding their own here, but I think they just came out a little bit flat.
Yeah, definitely. They've definitely come into their own. in the second half of the first, and even in this second period, they've been working well. And I think that UMass sits comfortably still with this 2-goal lead, but you know what they say about the 2-goal lead in hockey.
Most dangerous lead, perhaps, but no worries for UMass just yet as Sparrow saucers it deep. Hits off end boards to the stick of Moore. Tries to fork it up the near side, unable. It'll come back to her in the corner. Now to the far side for Mitchell. She's hindered there by Sparrow. Sparrow will head to the bench. On comes Hannah Gromko. And they give it away there. Balerna, her attempted shot, not much on that one. Skated away by the Gophers. This one will be sent all the way down for an icing. 15:33 to go in the second. Still 2-0 UMass.
Gophers yet to have a shot yet so far, about 5 minutes in, and they haven't really pressured Shipton yet in this second period. So good news for the UMass defense as they are rolling so far.
Rolling indeed are the Minutewomen. Face-off win, shot from the top of the slot by Abby Malcuit. Was saved by Mazikis. Malcuit on alongside Abby Dunn. That's the top defensive pairing for UMass. Here's Pearson back in out front. Mazikis saves that one.
Crafty move from Pearson there. She's UMass's leading point scorer. She's only got 1 goal in the season, but her 3 assists are really speaking numbers. She tries to net her second one of the year, but Mazikis swallowed that one up.
UMass, well, they do have what appears to be a losing record, 3-4-2, and they played a D3 school in Framingham State, defeated them handedly, but, I mean, this Minutewomen team does not score much, but have a decent record to show for it. I think that speaks to how great they have been on defense and especially in net with Matthews and Shipton.
Definitely, and that's what happened last night, right? A 2-1 victory. They don't ask you how. They don't ask you how many. They just ask you how it went, I guess. Just if you got the win, a 2-1 victory is still a victory.
Yeah, sometimes 2 goals, even 1 goal is enough.
Right.
Especially if you have a hot goaltender. UMass dig for it in the far half wall. And it pops out to the neutral zone for Abby Dunn. Dunn pressured there. Sends it ahead for Gromko, and there's going to be a whistle here, I believe, for offsides.
Yeah, Pearson was going for a line change there and just tried to enter on the left side of the bench and couldn't get off in time. So she tried to hop over the blue line, but refs caught it a little too early.
The faceoff will take place in front of that UMass Minutewomen bench. Won by Minnesota. They give it away. They've just been unable to break into the UMass zone. That continues to be the story here with 14:20 to go. In the second period, it pops up top for Roach. Her shot saved by Mazikis. A good job to control that rebound to the far corner. It's sent out front again. And that one is also stopped.
Shot by Maya Shapiro there. I think she was looking 5-hole. There was a good opportunity there, but Mazikis gloved it. That's a tricky play when you're down in the crease.
UMass scored their first goal just like that, just forking at it, trying to get it through the pads of Mazikis, and almost had the same thing there. But Mazikis held the pads tightly that time. Good clear by the Golden Gophers, but it comes to the stick of Partridge. She'll turn the corner, comes right back in with speed, cuts middle and shoots Bobby Orr style. And that one's saved by Mazikis, and I believe because of that, that's going to be a penalty for tripping on Minnesota.
Wow, well, draws a penalty there. That could have gone any better for the one-man wrecking crew, Kelsey Partridge. She does it herself on that one, no passing necessary. That was a great way to go right to the net. A lot of plays so far. UMass has been veering to the outside, trying to look for a pass in, and instead Partridge takes it right to the goalie in Mazikis. Sorry.
That was a great save there, but it is Sierra Mitchell to the box for tripping. UMass 0 for 1 in the power play tonight, but or this morning, afternoon, I should say, but They've got a chance on the advantage now. Riley Evans, right point. Down low to Partridge, looking out front. And comes back to Partridge. Now up top for Abby Dunn. Rides the line. Right side Partridge. Down low to Sparrow. Skates middle and shoots. Save Mazikas. Here's Partridge on the rebound. Skates to the left circle. Up top for Abby Dunn. Back to Partridge. Stops there. Is pressured from behind, and it's poked out by Olerking. Sparrow pressured from behind in front of the Minnesota bench there, and they take possession. Great job by Kate Hill. She'll dump it in and change as there's 1 minute to go on the penalty. Hannah Gromko for Evans. Now Arguin. She'll break in. Right side of the zone. Ivory Arguin, the sophomore. Skates along the goal line. Now up to Evans. She can't keep it in at Punch zone. Dunn trying to reverse it behind her, but it will come back to her stick. Once again in on the right. Ivory Arguin makes enough boards to herself. Gets it back. Turns the corner out front looking for Gromko. Goes through her skates, and it's cleared all the way down by Prowl. 17 seconds until the penalty is over. Here comes Arguin again. Ivory Arguin, one last chance for UMass here. Shelby Little, top of the slot shot, save Mazikas. And once again, great rebound control. Kept in by UMass, but the power play is over. One-time attempt by Arguin. She goes down in a heap. Minnesota looking juiced after that penalty kill, trying to go ahead with a good defense by Little, but she cannot grab the puck just yet. And it comes back the other way now for Gromko. Potential 2-on-1 with Little. Gromko shot, save Mazikas, rebound, unavailable.
Shelby Little, the defenseman captain, leading by example on that play. Not only was she aware of the Gopher coming out of the box to kill the penalty, and it made sure that she stopped the cherry pick opportunity, but she was also the first one back on the forecheck, went in for a 2-on-1, and after the shot, she still crashed the goalie and gave the goalie a shove. That's exactly what you want your captain to do. Add a little bit of physicality to this game already.
Shot from the point, save Mazikas. She falls on the loose puck for the whistle. .11:14 to go in the second period. UMass has not been able to score since the early minutes of the first. 2-0 though. The Minutewomen continue to lead. Williams backhands it across looking for Zoo. Minnesota comes away with it. Brooke Jarman. Her shot is deflected wide by Abby Milkuit, but she sends it right out front. Shipton can't grab it. Abby Dunn will. And they get it out. Up for Julia Williams, galloping across the far side. To the right corner. Williams and Moore come together. And now it's Karlstein. She tries to reverse it back to Williams. She can't jam it home. And here comes Minnesota again. Kylie Wurzos. Shot wide. Minnesota heads for a change. UMass trying to take advantage of that with Joanna Zhu up ice. Gains some speed. A good job by Olerking on the back check. She'll give it away this time to Carrie Balerna. Balerna looking out front to Zhu. She's held up in front. Down goes Brooke Borges, and ahead goes Minnesota. Holland back. Comes middle, shot, scores! Forehand, backhand, Hallie Hollenbeck, her third of the year, cuts the UMass lead in half.
And what a move that was from Haley Hollenbeck. Beats the defenseman with speed on the outside, uses her shoulder to cut in, forehand, backhand, just like you said, and buries it home. That's the first real test that Shipton's faced. Gophers haven't had a lot of odd man rushes and breakaways, but on that one, Hollenbeck just really gave it to her, and what a beautiful move. They net the first one for the Gophers and cuts the lead to 1.
Just like that, we've got a game here in Amherst. Midway through this one, 2-1 in favor of UMass, and down goes a Golden Gopher. That's going to be a penalty. It goes to Lila Roach, and all of a sudden Minnesota with a chance to tie on the power play.
Well, if you recognize that play, Hollenbach just went for the same exact play. Stick to it. She was hugging the right wall and tried to beat the defender with speed, but this time Roach just encroaches a little too much and draws the tripping penalty there. So Gophers, I believe, with their first power play of the game here.
They've been good on the penalty kill, holding UMass scoreless in their 2 power plays. Now they have a chance with the man advantage. Far side, Minnesota setting up here. Lodziniak up top for Olerking. Her shot into the glove of Shipton for a whistle.
A little flex by Shipton there. No need to save that. It would have gone far and away to the right, but Shipton uses her wingspan, reaches out there, and easy glove save for the freshman.
UMass will send out a new penalty killing unit here. And so will Minnesota. 1:38 to go on the power play. They send it across, one-time shot there, save Shipton, rebounds available. She stops the follow-up. It goes behind the net to the far side now. Minnesota right out front to the stick of Little. She clears the zone. The giveaway here in the neutral zone. Here comes UMass. Shapiro shot blocked. Now Minnesota back the other way. Hollenbach. She scored the only Minnesota goal just a couple moments ago. They held the line there, no offsides, but it goes to Evans to clear the ice. 55 seconds until Roach is out of the box. Here they come again. Brooke Jarman enters on the right, working on Shelby Little. Good stick from the captain defenseman, and then Gromko follows with the clear.
Third penalty killing unit and the third clearing of the ice.
And then Little's hustle down the ice, draws the face-off from Mazikis. So UMass with an offensive zone draw with 36 seconds remaining on the penalty kill. Shelby Little leading by example. The points have not been there for her just yet this season. 2 points, albeit she is a defensewoman, but she has had that defensive presence and made a great clear there and then draw the face-off in the offensive zone. Here comes Minnesota, 20 seconds to go on the power play. Down low for Rolf, trying to set it out front, goes through everyone all the way down. Minnesota with a prime opportunity to tie the game, and it looks like they're going to come up short, at least for now on that. Lila Roach is out of the box.
Efficient penalty kill from the Minute women. I think all 3 units made it out there, and they were just firing on all cylinders there.
Shapiro shot kicked away by Mazikis. Now behind the goal, Arguin tries to bank it home. It's loose there, and they score! UMass creating chaos in front once again, and it's Hannah Gromko, her second in as many games, 3-1 UMass.
Gromko with the game-winning goal yesterday against Minnesota punches another one home to extend that lead back out to 2. Even with the penalty, UMass faces their first penalty kill, kills it with ease, and then Gromko with a retaliation. Gophers really on their heels now.
Looked like Minnesota was coming back there for a moment, cut the lead to 1, had the power play, but UMass killed the penalty and then go ahead once again by 2. Hannah Gromko, her 3rd goal of the season. UMass again on the puck. Unable to shoot it that time. Minnesota gets it out. Right back in for Sparrow. She cuts middle. She's pressured from behind. She'll send it to the right corner for Zoo. Partridge there as well. And it pops to the stick of Wurzos to send it ahead. Both Roach and Wurzos dashing after that one. It will go to Warzos, but Roach with a good stick lift, hindering her progress. But Minnesota here on the forecheck. Comes up top. Now the fore side. Golden Gophers setting up here in the zone. Shot goes wide. Kate Hill on the rebound off of end boards. Her shot deflected in front. The centering pass by Rolf goes through the crease and now out. .5:55 to go in the second. UMass leading 3-1. The goal scorers Partridge, Borges, and Gromko. Here they come again. Karlstein trying to drop it off for Zoo. She'll chip it middle. Off the bench comes a fellow Minutewoman in the form of Hope Viskovich. She can't take it over. Good job by Evans there as Minnesota was almost breaking towards the zone.
Gophers haven't exactly been able to get quality shots, but of their 9 shots, one of them's been a goal. That's a goal every 9 shots. And when you look at UMass, they've got 3 goals for every 30 shots. So Gophers and UMass scoring at the same rate, but Gophers just haven't been able to put it on net so far.
If they can get some more zone time, they most likely will score. They have a decent attack when they're able to set up, but they have not been able to break in efficiently. Here's Zoo. She'll shoot it well wide. Far side now McDonald. Settles onto the stick of Celia Mitchell. Minnesota clears it all the way down. No icing. Right back down the other way. This will be a race. No icing. Balerna with a good hustle. She gets taken down for her effort. Minnesota, good move by Prell. She'll skate in with some speed. Laramie Prell, pressured by the UMass defense, skates to her left, surveying her options out front. Gets her head up, now up top, and back to Prell. Right circle, shot into the glove of Shipton for a whistle.
Gophers seem to have a bit of a thorn in their side. Their best player so far, Hallie Holenback, the forward, number 7. She has their lone goal and it's kind of been leading the offensive charge there. Just gave a UMass Minutewomen defenseman a shove after the play there. It seems as though Gophers might be playing with a little more intensity now that they're down 2 with only 4 minutes left in the second.
Gonna want to get one before the third if they want any chance at perhaps tying it in the last period. Here they are here trying to create a turnover, but they're unable to grab possession as Gromko takes it, but her pass goes wayward. Right back in for Rolf. Shot, save, Shipton. A funky rebound there. She tried to guide it to the far side. It ended up coming right back to that near side. But here's UMass. They enter, but it's offsides.
Yeah, crucial error there. Trying to make a move at the blue line. It feels so natural, but then all the forwards don't know what's going on, and unfortunately just a miscommunication there.
I'm no hockey player, but it seems whenever people are trying to make moves at the blue line, that is what creates offsides more frequently.
Oh, absolutely. The miscommunication, when forwards are flying the zone and whoever's carrying the puck makes that move at the blue line, there's just never enough time to recalibrate. Sometimes you can get away with it, but very rarely.
The men's hockey team in Amherst here has been guilty of doing that. UMass guilty that time.
Definitely. A couple parallels between the teams as well, as they're both ranked 13th in the nation so far. So hopefully UMass gets a bit of an upgrade after that big win against UMaine last night, though.
The Minutewomen doing their job here as well against a Minnesota team that is only 2-7, so no ranked matchup here, but at this point they're on their way to winning 2 straight, unless Minnesota can come back. And of course, this game is not even close to being over. Still 2 minutes to go in the second, as Shipton will cover up that one.
That was a bit of a safety precaution there from Shipton. She saw Hollenbacker rush in the net. And even though it might have been a little far away to cover the puck, I don't think Shipton wanted any piece of that. So they'll take the draw on their own zone.
Face off to Shipton's right on the left dot. Minnesota wins it. They shoot it wide. Chance out front here. They whack at it. Couple saves from Shipton. Minnesota now up to 11 shots, maybe more than that. They're getting more zone time here. Right back in for Kate Hill. She'll bank it off inboards to the right corner. Rolf is there. Back to Hill looking out front. Good defense by Viskovits to disallow that pass. And now Williams and Zhu will come ahead with it. Here's Joanna Zhu. Skates right, shoots wide right. Williams fishes it loose to Zhu. Saved by Mazikis. A bit of a screen in front there by our own defensewoman. Made the save. Shot from the point. Saved by Shipton. And it's covered up.
Well, I talked a little bit about that edge that the Gophers are starting to play with, and it's starting to turn into a little bit of frustration, it seems like. We saw number 2, Jillian Malajanek, I believe, slam her stick against the boards after the puck was taken. And then on that last play, Laramie Prell poking at the goalie after the whistle. Gophers are starting to get a little antsy here.
Minute 24 to go in the second. They're unable to win the offensive zone draw. UMass right back in. Shot by Nell Hewitt was blocked in front. Shea McDonald grabs the follow-up in the left corner. McDonald up to the point for Dunn. Now down low to Balerna. She gets knocked down inadvertently, but it's stuck there for Borges. Kicks up top to Dunn. Her shot also blocked. McDonald in the corner. Looking out front. Borges shot. Save by Mazikis. Borges has been oh so close to getting her second of the night a couple times here.
Well, Borges, that was a tricky play there. It seemed as though she went for the one-timer but didn't get all of it, but it still stopped the puck in time for her to try to go 5-hole. But at that point, the Gophers goalie in Mazikis already had control of it.
Face-off won by UMass. 42 seconds until the end of the second. Here's Pearson cutting middle shot. Wide right. Cromco in the right corner. Backhands it around to the left. UMass looking for one last chance here. Goes on to Mazikis. She'll cover it up with 25.6 to go. Another offensive zone face-off. UMass able to take it over momentarily, but then it's cleared out. 20 seconds to go. One last try for Minnesota here. It goes to the stick of Shelby Little after Rolf couldn't get all of that shot. Now UMass with a chance with 10 seconds to go. Off of the stick of Pearson. It's sent in by Minnesota. Final seconds of the period. Chance out front, no shot made. And that's the end of 40 minutes. Minnesota battled back in the second, but it's UMass still leading after 2, 3-1.
Yeah, both teams with a goal there. It was 1-1 if you just count the second period. And on the Gophers side of the game, I believe they had 5 shots in this period. One of them was a goal. They definitely need to up their shots. 7 in the first, 5 in the second. That number's only trending down, but real back and forth play here. But I do think that the Minutewomen had the offensive advantage. It seems as though the game is in their control. So coming back into the third period, got to make sure that the Minutewomen keep control of this game, keep their foot on the gas. They've got the Gophers right where they want them, and they just got to secure this victory in the next 20. So I'm excited for the third.
And that's what Bill Wright and company will talk about during the second intermission. The next 14 minutes, we're going to take a break. And after that, third period action, UMass versus Minnesota, right here on 91.1 WMUA. back here at the Mini Mullen Center for the third and final period of this one. UMass versus Minnesota, 3-1 the score. Face off right here at center ice right away. We're back. 20 minutes to play in this one. Yeah, still a lot of time. Anything Minnesota can do better?
No, I mean, the numbers don't lie, and so far UMass has the numbers in their advantage. They lead in goals, obviously they lead in shots, and as long as they can just keep the foot on their neck of the Golden Gophers here, then hopefully UMass will come out with a victory. But so far, no team has had offensive control at the beginning of this period. Both teams trying to find their footing going into the third here.
Minnesota will shoot it right in. UMass does not want the Golden Gophers to get off to a hot start here. Mentioned it's only a 2-goal lead, still 3-1. Big collision there.
Yeah, I don't even know if that was intentional, but that was Ivory Arguin on the stand-up hit at the blue line. Yeah, she kind of got blindsided there, but still held her ground. That's beautiful.
Yeah, Oler King was the one that went down for Minnesota. Obviously not supposed to be making open ice checks here in women's college hockey.
All right, that's why I kind of lead into the unintentional, but regardless, Arguin, I mean, she just planted her feet there.
We continue on here in Amherst. Kate Hill shot flutters well wide. Comes to the stick of the Minute Women. They can't clear. Oler King whacking at it, locked up with Partridge, and it's taken over by Lily Sparrow, the assistant captain. Her shot is blocked. Comes back to the stick of Sparrow in the left corner. She'll take position there, working on 2 Golden Gophers. Slides to the right side for Joanna Zhu. Zhu trying to come up with it. It's unable as UMass was finishing off the change there. And here comes Laramie Prell. She's stuck against the wall, and UMass clears it in, no icing.
UMass seems to be taking a little bit more of an aggressive approach. They've got 2 Minute Women on the puck at all times.
Minnesota right back in. And there it is again, the relentless defense from UMass right on the hip of Minnesota at all times.
Right, you want to talk about mentality changes. UMass now with the advantage. They're not thinking offensively at all. This is a defensive period. Make sure you regain the lead. That's what they're doing right here.
Minnesota trying to set up in the right corner. Been able to get a good couple of minutes of zone time here. Not even 3 minutes into the third, but now it'll come out for Joanna Zhu. She's been on the ice for at least a minute now. End of her shift here. She'll go down, and ahead will come Kylie Wurzos. She's sticked off by Little. Great defense by the captain. Here she comes with speed. Shelby Little. Shot blocked. Karam's up top. Another shot deflected away. McDonald's the pressuring forecheck. Looking out front for Balerna. That one went wide. Minnesota gives it away again to McDonald's. Right back to the right corner for Brooke Borges. Scored the second UMass goal. Borges trying to poke it down low. Little coming up from the point. As they battle for it there. Balerna. She scored the first UMass goal in yesterday's game. Was the player of the game as designated by the team. And for Balerna, that was her first goal of the year.
UMass being held to the outside here. They haven't been able to penetrate the middle yet. They just keep getting brushed aside by these Gopher defenders, and the shots from the outside just aren't working yet. UMass needs to find the centering feed if they want to get a shot on net.
There's a shot. Mazeikis had to steer that one aside. Over 4 minutes in here. I don't believe Minnesota's had a shot just yet. They have had the zone time. UMass with the zone time here, but as you said, Cam, unable to set up, and then Minnesota clears it again here. Unable to get middle. Pearson working up the left side. Down goes a Golden Gopher due to some contact, and that allows Kate Hill to come ahead with it. Working one-on-one into the zone. She'll skate middle and shoot. Sticked away by Shipton. And a quick out for Arguin, looking for her fellow linemen, but they're going to the bench. A miscue there. Here's Oler King. Her shot easily into the glove of Shipton for a whistle.
Good awareness by Shipton there. Needed a whistle just to break up the play a little bit. A tough change. I think that line was out there for just a little too long, so that outlet pass towards the middle was, no one was home there for the Minutewomen, so a little regroup.
Bill Wright is still talking to Pearson and Arguin on the bench here. After that shift, it's a prime opportunity for Minnesota after Arguin gave that one away. They'll do some coaching there as Minnesota breaks back in. They try and center it out front. Scanlon hit it in deep, but UMass grabs the puck, can't get it out just yet. And eventually they do. Here's Maya Shapiro. A goal and an assist on the year for her. She'll cut behind that, try and center out front. It goes off the side and out to the neutral zone. Right back in for Shapiro. Her shot is wide. Far side for Sparrow. Now back down low. Shapiro needs to go to the bench, and Minnesota will not be able to get out. Good job by Dunn to jump the line there. Just wasn't able to take advantage, and then Partridge is offside.
UMass leading the offensive charge here. They've had a lot of time in the O-zone, but what they lack so far is patience. Hold on to the puck for just an extra second. Keep your head up. There's a bunch of passes available, and Minutewomen just giving it away in their own zone unnecessarily.
6 minutes and 30 seconds gone in the third. Ruggiero alongside Cam Neary, 3-1 UMass. Here's a shot. Saved by Mazikas. She steers it to the end wall. Comes to Williams looking for a tip out front. Zoo now wrap around try. Went wide. Little keeps it in. Trying to work up the near side. Couple keep-ins there for Little. Karlstein sends it middle, but only to the stick of Liliana Rolfe.
And see, that's what I'm talking about. You've got an extra second there to make a pass, so you don't need to throw it right up to the middle. Most of the time, it's going to be a gopher clogging up the lane.
That's trying to break in once again, but unable. Minnesota has tightened up their defense here. Still working on their offense. They have a chance here with Wurzos. Spins it up top to Hollenbach. Looking out front for a tip there. It goes behind the goal. Wraparound try. I think Shipton stopped that one. Up top. Fanning on the shot there was Mitchell, and now UMass comes ahead with it. Brooke Borges backhands it middle. Shot. Saved by Mazikas. Brooke Borges has had a heck of a game. Balerna out front. Sticked away. Here's Wurzos again. Cross corner dump, she'll go for a change. Prowl on the puck. Up top for a shot there by Mitchell. Deflected aside by the UMass defense. Here's Little, great move in the neutral zone. Breaks in on the left, cuts middle and shoots. Shouldered away by Mazikas into the netting for a whistle.
That was a laser there from Shelby Little. Let that one go off a wrist shot right off the right shoulder of Mazikas. That one went all the way out of the stadium almost. Surprised the netting went up that high.
Yeah, there's not many great wrist shots like that we've seen that are able to get good height on it. Just lots of jamming and poking. But that was a great shot and an even better save from Mazikas. Here's Arguin with speed, drops it back to Gromko. Gromko cuts middle, shot, save, Mazikas. Arguin again, sends it out front. Through the slot it goes to the far side, Viskovitz. Now Gromko and Arguin, excuse me, that is Arguin, digging for it. Abby Dunn, right side. Cannot find a fellow Minutewoman. And it's sent ahead now for Kate Hill. Looking for the open ice. Hill, bad angle try, misses the net. 10:38 to go in the third, still 3-1 UMass. Wurzos trying to get around Shapiro, unable. Right back out to the neutral zone. Here they come again. Trying to get through the neutral zone here. Minnesota, they've tried to set up 10 minutes ago. Have to get a quick one here. Make it a one-goal game late in this third. But the pressure has just not been there. Up to 13 shots. I believe they only have 1 or 2 in this third period. That's because of the UMass forecheck. Here's Zoo again. She skates middle, shot into the breadbasket of Mazikas for a whistle.
That was a good 2-on-2 opportunity for the Minute Women. Zhu gets a shot on net, but the Gophers were just running a breakout clinic out there. Their inability to enter the offensive zone mixed with the Minute Women's just tendency to turn the puck over led to 5 or 6 breakouts in a row for the Gophers.
Shot off the draw. Little had it stopped. Here's Williams. Gets the puck poked off of her stick handling. Gets it back, sends it middle. Zoo one-time shot. Mazikas smothers it.
Second shot in a row from Zhu, both times right in the goalie's midsection to upper chest area. Zhu gotta reorient that shot a little bit. Give Mazikas a run for her money. Try the outside.
Shelby Little, great back check there, not allowing Minnesota to come ahead. Williams cannot get through traffic. The late offsides on Williams. Zoo will just fire it in. Lila Roach keeps it in. Can't send it up the far side. Little again entering, she's taken down. No call coming. Right back in for Kate Hill, she'll dump and change. As the seconds wind down here in the third, 8:30 to go. Both teams, I think, feeling it at this point in the series. Played an afternoon game yesterday, late afternoon, but then you have to come back in the morning the next day. Shipton, dangerous chance here as she was out of her crease, but UMass didn't seem too concerned. No harm, no foul that time. Wurzos gets taken down. That's going to be a penalty on Brooke Borges. Wurzos awarded for her good speed.
Yeah, and Borges knew that was coming. That's about as unintentional as it can get. As soon as her stick made contact with the Gophers' legs there, her hands were already on her head. She knew that the call was coming, and UMass takes a bad penalty. Still with a 2-goal lead, but with only 8 minutes left in the third period, it's not really where you want to give one up.
Shot off the draw, blocked in front and cleared by Abby Dunn. Minnesota 0 for 1 on the power play. And here's UMass on the forecheck. Grabbed the puck. It was Viskovitz with a great job there. Or rather, Ivory Arguin. She's floundering at the top of the Minnesota zone. They're trying to get back on sides. That wastes 30 seconds of power play time for Minnesota. Here they come. Rolf sends it middle, goes through everything to the far boards. And it pops on Sierra Moore. She can't keep it in. Right back the other way. Jarman shot blockered away by Shipton. Minute to go until Borges is out of the box. Kept in their slap shot from the point, flutters onto Shipton. She makes the pad save. Comes back to that left point. Across for a shot. Save Shipton, great chance. Out front, another try. Almost with the open side was Kate Hill. Here's Little, makes a move middle on the penalty kill. Shelby Little, the breakaway. Her shot is stopped. Rebound is Little following up with it here. Right up front, Zoo. Did she score? It's loose there. Wow, it goes to the back of the net. Little again fires, popped up there. Just goes wide. It sits in the goal line. Oh my goodness, a fire drill in front of the Minnesota net. UMass almost with a shorthanded goal. Back the other way is Wurzos. She shoots. Saved by Shipton. And Abby Dunn makes the clear. Borges out of the box. UMass a successful penalty kill. And almost a goal there.
Wow, fiery penalty kill there. UMass not even trying to play defense, looking for the shorty.
Great effort by Shelby Little and Joanna Zhu. Now Hewitt dumps it in, 5:26 to go. Another opportunity for Minnesota to get back into this one. Falls through their fingertips. As UMass gets closer to their second win in a row. Shot by Malhewitt, saved by Mazikis for a whistle. Mazikis, after a tough start, she's bounced back. She's saved 38 of 41 UMass shots.
Yeah, she's been having a great game so far. Barring those first two goals, tough ones to give up at the beginning of the game, she's been on top of her game.
Had better rebound control. And she's stepped up here, keeping her team in the game. Still 5 minutes to go. We'll have to see if Minnesota wants to pull Mazikis for a 6-on-5 here. But they'll enter, slap shot, wide by Hollenbach. She scored the only Minnesota goal back in the second period. It pops out for Sparrow. Sparrow skates in, looking middle, her shot goes wide. Right back in for Minnesota. Left side of the zone, now up top. Hollenbach sends it wide. Far side, Kate Hill. Hill gets it back, top of the slot. Shot deflected wide. Hit the back of a Minute woman in front there. I believe it was Karlstein. There's 4 minutes to go in the third. Minnesota trying to set up once again in the UMass zone. Both teams jousting for the puck in and around the net of Sophie Shipton. It slides to Zoo to skate it out.
No quit in the Gophers. They are still trying to make up this lead, but they have just been no match for this Minutewoman defense so far.
Only a handful of shots for Minnesota in this third period. Only up to 16 for the entire game compared to the 41 UMass has shot on goal. Here's Arguin. 18 on 18 in the right corner. Sierra Moore defending her. It goes to Gromko. Skates middle. Gromko shot. I believe that was blocked, or it might have caught a piece of Mazikis. Gromko scored the third UMass goal in this one. Her second goal in as many games. They fight for it in the right corner with under 3 minutes to go. Pearson looking out front for Arguin. Almost a one-time shot there.
Pearson to Arguin is a dangerous connection. The team's leading assist leader and goal leader.
Those two on the ice now. Pearson Right dot out front. Gromko backhand. Mazikis smothers that one.
That is a masterclass in how to save that shot right there, because that's not easy. That's a backhander, low blocker side. We're trying to find that space right in between the blocker and the pad, and Mazikis got down there just in time. She's really on top of her game here, drastically improving throughout this game.
2:16 to go. Looks like a timeout will be called by Minnesota. Look at a shot here of the Minnesota bench talking things over.
What do you think they're saying, John?
Well, I mean, 2:16 to go. It's down by 2 at this point, but I'm sure they'll pull the goalie and just going over what needs to be done here. Obviously, they'd like this to be at least a 1-goal game at this point, but we're past that. So now they're going to need a goal for each minute left in this game if they want to tie it before the end of the third. Conversely, on the other side, Bill Wright just talking about how to lock this one down.
Yeah, a lot of poise from Bill Wright over there. I think he knows that this game is in the bag if the Minutewomen keep playing the way that they have for this entire period. The third period, regardless of the scoring opportunities, has been the best period for the Minutewomen from a fundamental standpoint. They are just working as a team better than ever, and I really think it's the defensive mindset change that they've had. There's been 2 girls on every puck. They are on top of it. It's a less offensive-minded game plan, and definitely focusing on the defense. And when you've got a senior captain in Shelby Little back there on defense, you just lock the game down. And Little's been my star of the game so far. She's been a stay-at-home defenseman, but when she needs to step up into the rush, she's had some of the best shots on net all night.
Back underway here in Amherst. Minnesota wins the draw. Mazikis looking to the bench to be pulled. She is not going yet, but here's a chance. Just goes past the stick of Kate Hill. Mazikis still in her crease, waiting for the call from the bench.
That's about as good as an opportunity as we're going to get from Mazikis to get pulled there. Gophers with one of their first offensive zone rushes of this third period.
Here they are again. A pass out front. Slides onto Shipton for a whistle. The call still not being made to Mazikis. 1:46 to go. Wholesale line changes for the Golden Gophers here. I think they'll wait for the face-off win and then pull Mazikis. Minnesota grabs it and it goes to the right corner. Mazikis still at the top of the slot now. She'll skate back as Joanna Zhu comes ahead. 1:30 to go. Zhu into the end wall. Off the bench comes Arguin. She swings and misses, but it goes to Gromko across. What a stop by Mazikis. Joanna Zhu robbed there.
Well, Gophers made the right call and not pulling the goalie on that play, because if Mazikis wasn't there, Gromko was sending that through the back of the net.
Gonna get a whistle here. Did not catch what for, but Mazikis was going to the bench with 1:08 to go. Looks like it will be an offensive zone draw. And Mazikis will be on the bench. A 6-on-5 for Minnesota in the final minute. UMass comes away with the puck and clears it to the neutral zone. Delayed offsides. Abby Dunn will hold it. She's pressured, turns around, looks up ice, trying to find Arguin or Pearson. And it comes back to Abby Dunn, 48 seconds to go. Dunn again, this time able to find Arguin, but she misplayed that one. Still fighting for it on the right side of the zone. It goes to Pearson. She'll shoot it wide. Far side, Gromko looking for 2 tonight. Gromko, left side, can't grab it. It comes back to her stick. 27 seconds to go. Minnesota will skate out now. Here's Rolf. Shot wide. Final 20 seconds here. Pearson wisely will staple it to the right corner boards. Under 10 to go. Minnesota fishes it loose. Try there up into the upper section of Abby Dunn. Another shot goes wide by Kate Hill. And that's the end of this one. UMass takes it handedly 3-1, sweeping the Minnesota Golden Gophers. And the Minutewomen improve their record. The 13th ranked team in the nation with a sweep.
Yeah, what a game. And I think that this is just a testament of how important the beginning of the game is. This game, a 3-1 victory, a 2-goal differential, and the first 2 goals were scored in the first 4 minutes of the game. UMass gains that lead and never looked back. At one point, it was a 1-goal differential, but UMass came back off the penalty kill, netted that third one, and it's just been this back and forth matchup since. They tie in the second period with each a goal apiece, and then in the third, UMass puts on the defensive masterclass, and Golden Gophers unable to respond, so they remain at 3-1, and UMass picks up a great home victory. Their last home game of this homestand. Their next game, they head down to Lynchville, Virginia against Liberty University. Their first time on the road since late September, and coming off a great win.
Liberty is a tough opponent that UMass will be facing. Last year, Liberty defeated the Minutewomen, I think, 7-0 and then 11-0 here in Amherst. So Bill Wright and company with a feel-good weekend before a really tough task down in Virginia. But UMass takes this one 3-1. We'll be back in a couple of weeks when Colorado State comes to town for a one-off matchup. But for now, we're going to say goodbye. For myself, John Ruggiero, alongside Cam Neary and our cameraman, Jacob Repper. We'll see you next time. UMass wins 3-1 on 91.1 WMUA. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.